every step forward is a victory, and here is what I've learned. So it's been a while, guys, and I haven't seen you guys in a longest. Happy New Year, I guess. Happy absolute New Year. Oh, my window keeps opening and closing, so I'm gonna just close that. Before we go on any further, if you are new here, my name is Bami. If you are a subscriber that has been wondering where I have disappeared to, life has been lifing for me, and it's been very interesting because I started off with my podcast, and if you are new here, you can go and watch those, and they came off the back of my book, Her 52 Lessons, and I have the book now, so if anybody wants to purchase the book, you can message me. I also have my website as well in my bio, so you can go there and like learn a bit more and get some free stuff as well about finding your purpose and building your purpose. Now, my journey of purpose came out from my experience, and I'm sure you're here because you like saw the little thing in the title where it's basically navigating divorce while being a divorced 30-something, and it has come with a lot of lessons, and I am grateful for them. Painful, I will say, but it's something that I have to work my way through, and I think that it's something that I could use to teach people how to possibly pick better and do better with themselves as well. So I'm just gonna take you on a journey today, and I'm gonna do my little makeup, so just ignore like all the noises in the back, but this is just a conversation. Like, you're literally sitting in my dressing room with me. Yeah, the past couple of months have been one to remember. I got a new job. Unfortunately, I lost that job for whatever reason, God knows best, and it was sad. Like, there were so many things that were happening, but it has been like a ripple of bad things. And if you know anything about having a relationship with God and you start seeing loads of bad things happening, you will begin to start questioning your relationship with God. And I think that's where I was just like, you know what, God, you said I should do your podcast and do this and do that, but I'm here and my life is falling apart, and nothing I can do about it. But you see, the thing about God is sometimes he has to let things fall apart for things to realign, and I'm learning, which I thought I probably learned when I got married in the first place, but I think I'm now currently learning. But yeah, with that being said, let's go on the journey. Today's little something sesh is about healing. Now, I don't really know too tough about healing because like I grew up in an African like community, an African home, and I can't tell you that like we talk about all these things like healing and stuff like that because nothing concern anyone. Like, you have heartbreak, they'll still call you to come and watch play. You have heartbreak, your life still has to carry on. Like, no one is coming to save you, sis. So I mean, imagine my like feeling when everything kind of went down. I didn't really know what to expect. For anyone who's asking, because I got like a few DMs on my TikTok, which I do post on. You can follow me on there because I post like little encouragement posts as well and something like that. I'm just trying to keep up with everything. But on there, someone asked me like what actually happened, and for the longest time I would always say like nothing, you know, nothing. But I'm not here to spill any tea because I think both parties were in the wrong. But I think one thing I would take away from every single thing that happened was that we were two people in misalignment, which is a big thing. We both wanted two different things, and exactly what that person wanted from me, or what I thought that we both wanted from each other, and I guess what he probably thought I wanted from him, was two different things. So because of that reason, we found ourselves in misalignment. Obviously, they always say marry someone that you feel like you can tolerate and all these things, and that this and this that, but there is so much work that goes into marriage, okay? So if you are getting married, baby girl, like really sit down with it. Because half of the people that you are seeing in this world, no, not even a half, a whole load of the people you are seeing in this world know nothing about themselves. Nothing. And when I say nothing, I mean nothing. And this isn't to slate anyone because that's not my business, okay? This is just to say that people don't know who they are. And because people don't know who they are, me included, you end up deceiving yourself about what you can and can't take. That's one. You end up compromising on what you shouldn't. And you end up undervaluing yourself. There are so many times I can count in my dating life that I have sat down and I have made mistakes just because I felt like, let me just settle, you know, let me just manage where I am, because what I actually really want is not what I'm going to get out of life. And now this is a place where I realize that I don't trust God in, because why am I trying to take matters into my own hands and really bring out an outcome of perfection in my life when God has already said I've got it figured out, you just need to stick by me. But I'm like, you know what, God, hold it, I'm finna do this by myself. Like, in my head, I really thought I had it all figured out. But to my surprise, I had nothing figured out. Nothing. And when I first initially got married, I thought it was going to be, you know, airy-fairy, the way everyone would do on social media, post all this ankle, you know, husband and wife outfits and all this jazz. And then the next milestone you're looking forward to is pregnancy, because, hey, once you get married, everyone's waiting for the babies. But you don't prepare yourself for things that are going to happen. And when I say things, I don't mean things between both of you. I mean things that life throws at you. I mean real life. I don't mean what people always think is like, oh, okay, I'm going to get pregnant and I'm going to go to church every Sunday. No, I'm talking about when one partner hits depression because life isn't life for them and the other person is in a different space, so you are growing apart. I'm talking when one person is growing upwards and the other person is just right here, and rather than pulling each other like this towards each other in order to elevate, it's more like a big distance. It's more like a, I guess, You're here, I'm here, let's live two separate lives. You're sad, I can't comprehend dealing with someone who's emotional or sad or whatever, because I'm too busy living my best life. And likewise, maybe I can't comprehend being around someone who's ready to live their best life because life isn't life for me right now. Whatever the hell it is, okay, that happens when it comes to this whole dynamic of relationships and marriage. There is so much that life is going to throw at you. So if you are contemplating getting married, sit with it, be honest with yourself about what you can and can't take, and actually truly ask yourself what you want out of marriage. Are you in that marriage for aesthetic purposes? If you are, go girl. You better be ready to swallow whatever comes with. And if you are in that marriage because you are seeking a best friend, then you really should marry a best friend. Now for me, I thought I was, I guess, sure of everything I wanted out of life. Now I knew absolutely nothing about what I wanted out of life, and I would say that was one of the contributors to the idea of what marriage was for me. I knew nothing. If you ask me what I wanted out of marriage, I can tell you fully that I knew absolutely nothing except for I wanted to be a wife. I wanted to wear anko, I wanted to be a bride, and that was it. Okay, I didn't know nothing. I felt like whatever life was going to throw at me, I was going to overcome. It was like a degree, right? I'll just learn and then do what I have to do. Lies, and more lies. Biggest lies ever, because if you continue to lie to yourself that is how easy it is to get into a marriage, you are going to cry premium shiggy tears, and that is exactly what happened. So when I got into this situation, I felt like I knew what the hell I was doing. I knew nothing. I did not know that being married to someone meant that you guys actually have to really plan your lives together. And if you guys don't get along, you ain't planning nothing. If you guys do not get along, nothing can be planned. The only thing that will be planned or pre-planned for you by the devil is fights. Because how on God's green earth are you supposed to plan your life with someone that you don't even get along with half of the time? So I'm talking about those in relationships where you find yourself fighting all the time and you keep making excuses. Oh, we would just fight a lot because of the space we're in. No, that is a big sign to tell you that that is not the space for you. This is not to say the person isn't a great person. This just means that the compatibility wise, the both of you might not make it. This doesn't mean that couples that argue don't thrive, because they really do sometimes. But I think you need to consider what the arguments are about. And most importantly, the scope. And are there plenty arguments? Are you going through a season of just arguing because, you know, things are a bit shaky? Or has your relationship from the onset and from the beginning been a whole big argument? Because if it has, my sister, what you are feeling right now is going to times 10. And I remember when people were talking about marriage to me and all these things, and they were like, oh yeah, what you're experiencing right now, it's only going to get worse. And I used to think, but it's not even that bad. Marriage is hard. It's really hard. Okay, it is hard. That shit can adjust your brain chemistry. Yep, because whether you like it or not, you are solely reliant on that person. It's like, think about this. You fight with your siblings over things, right? You fight with your siblings over food, over all this kind of things. You are now having to live with a stranger. Even if you live with a stranger for a while before, you are living with a stranger as a family member. But whereas like with your siblings, you know, it's like if you guys fight and everything, like you can ignore each other for like 4 days, 5 days, or whatever, however long you can ignore each other for. You can ignore each other for a day, a couple of hours. I don't know what your dynamic is in your home. But now you are bringing that into your relationship, okay, your marriage. So if you are someone who is used to ignoring their sibling and, you know, doing the whole on-site kind of situation, oh, me and you had a fight, so it's on-site, yeah, best believe that you're going to bring that into your marriage. And if your partner isn't an on-site person, if they are used to confronting situations, you're going to butt heads. And if there is no way to neutralize that and no conversation where two people can be actively involved in repairing that, that is going to cause a problem. Now, I'm done blabbering about obviously why relationships don't work, because that's for another episode or segment. This segment is about healing. Okay, this is about healing. This segment is about really healing from the whole space that you are in. Okay, and I'm hoping that someone listening to this, I'm not praying your divorce, but I'm hoping that you're listening to this because you intend to have a good relationship in the future, not because you plan to have a divorce. Okay, because I don't pray that for you, because God hates divorce for a reason, and everyone says God hates divorce, God hates divorce. How many aunties have I heard saying and justifying the reason why they're in this really unhappy, depressing marriage is because God hates divorce? No, baby girl, you are here and in that space because you are too scared of what comes after. What God hates is everything that comes with divorce after, the fraction of you that is left, the part where he has to heal. Not that it takes him anything to heal you, but it is a lot. It is a lot. It's like a child getting wounded and you have to nurse that child back to health. It's not an easy thing, and that is why God hates divorce. Not because God wants you to stay where you are and get punished and suffered. If you are being abused where you are or not being appreciated and you have consistently worked at it to fix it and it's not being fixed, maybe you are with Satan's strongest soldier. Think deeply about it. I don't know, who am I to judge? I don't know the dynamic of your relationship. I can only tell you from my perspective that sometimes we stay in spaces that don't suit us best because we'd rather make excuses for people that we love. And that love might not necessarily even be coming from a place that is genuine with us. We might just love them because they remind us of spaces that we didn't heal from our family, previous family traumas, maybe daddy issues, mommy issues, whatever it is. You are meeting your partner at that space, and most times you are picking your partner based off that space as well. Now let's backtrack, because like I said earlier, forget the fact that I ramble a lot, but we are healing. Yes, we are healing. Now, with that being said, the pain you are currently feeling is as a result of the betrayal you may have experienced. It stems from a place of expectations. This means that every single pain you are currently feeling about this, your divorce, if you are divorced, or if you're heartbroken, because I'm also here for the long relationship girlies, or even just you just broke up yesterday and you guys were dating the day before and you are heartbroken. I'm here for you. I am here. I have experienced what I experienced so that you don't have to go through it again. Now, because of that reason, I need you to understand that you are not feeling pain because of any other reason but the fact that your brain has processed that you have been betrayed. Now, this betrayal is what you need to tackle. You need to tackle why you feel betrayed, and this is most times out of a space of expectation. For me, when I started fully processing why I was such a bitter Nelly, it was because of the fact that I was wondering in myself, like, why am I so bitter about this? Like, why am I so angry? When I finally had time to sit with myself, I realized that I was just angry at the fact that I expected someone to do right by me, because I felt like I was doing my absolute best and I expected them to do their best too. Like, we came into this, you finna do your best and I'm doing my best, and everyone has a place. But you see, the problem with you having uncertain expectations on human is that humans let people down, including you that's setting expectation. Yes, you set your expectations. What are you expecting in the first place? You are putting your whole trust in you put your trust in a man? Nah. Okay? Wake up and smell the coffee, because no human can actually live up to any expectations you set for them. That is the mistake you make. So now you have to backtrack and walk. What exactly did they do to you that made you feel betrayed? Now, I say that most times I felt like my emotions or feelings weren't prioritized. But then over time, I started realizing that I actually have a huge desire for validation. Now, this comes from being, the firstborn daughter, having to bend over backwards and all these kind of things for siblings, and having to do a lot of things I didn't want to do when I was younger, because you sometimes have to take the responsibility of the parents. Maybe if you were left with your siblings, or have to do some work behind your siblings, or if you have to do anything that your parents led you to do, sometimes it is a big expectation. And because of that, I felt like I wasn't chosen. Now, always getting interrupted. Now, beyond the point, what I'm trying to say is you need to figure out the place of pain you are coming from. So that betrayal that you are feeling is because you put an expectation on the person. Why do you expect that someone has to do all these things for you? We are never honest with ourselves about why we have those expectations, because we are trying to have someone save us from something. We always want a savior. We have one savior, and his name is Jesus. Okay, he has already saved us from everything. Why are you now looking for a mere man that cannot save himself to save you? I'm not knocking men, because I'm not saying that they're no good men. I'm not saying that men are not helpers, and they have the ability to be a leader to an extent. But you also have a place also, and this is why God calls us to be in a relationship with him, because when we have a relationship with God and everything else, then only then can you truly feel that you're being saved. Then only then can you take out your mind from the idea of a man saving you from the life you currently have. Wow, that was quite profound. But anyways, so basically, healing isn't linear. It's a step forward into victory, a step forward into the place you need to be. So what are the things that you need to do in order for you to feel fully healed? So basically, we have looked at the idea of betrayal. I don't know why, but many people don't want to be honest with themselves when they say this. They put so much expectation on these men, and I'm not saying that they're perfect, but there is so many pretty ass women right now in this world. There are so many pretty women, and if you think about how many millions of pretty women there are, there's so many distractions for men. I'm not justifying their bad behaviors, because I don't think that's the case, but because there's so many distractions, there's still this idea of I can pick and have more options. That's one. You also have another situation where you have men who, to a funny extent, you have men who kind of basically put you as a placeholder till they find what they really want, or better still, they don't have what you have and they see that you have the potential, or you have it, so they'll rather be with you in order to get what you have. Like, if you have it like that, if you are a hardworking girl, let's say you have your own place or your own business, or you're making your own money, then you've got men who technically kind of want that too, and they're not looking at it the way some women look at it. When women see a man like that, we see prospects, we see, wow, he's someone I can learn from. But when men see it, they see, wow, I could literally be driving this car, I could be doing this, I could be doing that. Now, beyond the point, we create expectations for this man. We say that he loves me, so he's going to be this, this, and this. Most times, most men don't even know what they truly love. And this is why the Bible calls on men to actually love women as Christ loved the church. Because loving is hard for a man. For us women, it's not so hard. To be honest, it's not really hard. Now, we are looking back at healing, and looking back at the idea of healing in itself. Are you truly considering how much of a win it is to come out of the situation you're in? So if you're currently feeling heartbroken, or if you're walking out of a divorce, or you're separating or anything, are you processing truly where you are? Like, are you actually having an honest kind of conversation with yourself and saying, okay, this is where I am, and this? Because it's important to understand that you are winning regardless of the outcome. Any situation that you have to feel like you are walking on eggshells, or feeling caged, or feeling scared, and you can't fully express yourself, if you shine your light too bright, maybe they feel offended, or maybe you are having to compete with a whole nation of people behind you because they don't really give you the acknowledgement or affection you desire, or just maybe baby girl, that you are not even really even being considered. All the things you are doing around the house is just because they had an expectation to have you as a mail order mate that cooks, cleans and does everything else, but I'm not interested in anything else remotely in your life. I don't know the reason why you are here in this video, but I know that you've gone through something, or you are currently going through something. So I need you to understand that how you are feeling in this healing stage is that you need to consider everything as a win. Yes, it may be sad. Yes, it may be depressing. Yes, it may be a lot. But the win is that you are not in the same space that is causing you to dim your lights. You are not in a space that is causing you to walk on eggshells, or feel caged, or feel unimportant, or unacknowledged, or possibly most likely feel not enough, like you're not good enough, because that's what most women say. Like when I speak to women, they say, oh, they felt like they were never enough. Nobody ever wants to feel that, but hey. Another thing I would say about healing and how it's created a step forward into victory, and I'm processing and I'm learning, healing happens in stages and it feels differently for every single person. So you have to define your own journey and be patient with yourself. Now I'm going to say it for the people in the back. Healing does not have any one way. There are multiple ways to heal, and multiple people can heal in 20 different ways. Stop giving out self-help tips on how you must heal. So for example, you must heal in isolation. That's a lie, okay? Some people heal better around people. You are not going to cage yourself. If you are someone that your thoughts get the better part of you, stay around people, okay? Before you off yourself. Healing does not look like isolation. Sometimes people will say, oh, stay away from dating for like 2 years because then you can heal. My thing was most times that some people need to heal by putting themselves in a situation that causes that trigger to come out in order to see if they have really and truly healed. Because how will you know if you've healed if you are isolated? How? Healing does not look the same for everyone. So you have to create your own personal view of what healing looks like. If you are trying to heal, you need to sit with yourself and say, 1, what would make me feel better? How am I feeling? Process every single emotion you are feeling. Write it down. Are you angry? Are you bitter? Are you sad? Are you a little bit relieved because you've escaped the situation? But then are you a bit worried because you feel like something in the future is coming that's worse? Are you not trusting of yourself anymore because you feel like, how could I pick this bad decision for myself and this is the outcome? Am I sure I can pick better again in the future? What have I learned? What can I do differently? There are many questions to ask yourself when you are going through the stage of healing. But do not follow this one shoe fits all or one size fits all methodology behind healing. Give yourself time to process what is personal to you. I always like when I give you guys tips and I get so into it, because I mean, when I was like in a state where I was a hot mess, I didn't understand what it meant to heal. I would just be throwing healing up and down, and I really didn't actually understand what it meant, and I didn't think that I even got the chance to heal, because a lot of us are processing things the way our African parents do, which is boom, wake up, keep going. You know, something happens bad in life, you spend maybe 2 hours thinking about it, and then you carry on with life. You go to your 20-hour shift a day because you have to, and then you come back home and you roger, and you do life like that. You are only going to die of sorrow and sadness. You need time to process exactly what you're feeling in order for you to be even sure that you are alive. Yes, it's hard, but sometimes you have to. Sorry guys. Now, one important part I learned is that you are mourning. Yes, you are mourning this person. You are mourning many factors, and I'm going to give you a list of those factors. 1, you are mourning the person. Yep, because in your mind you had an idea of who this person was or was going to be. Whether they sold you a lie or you sold yourself a lie, you had a idea of what you thought this person was going to mean and be to you. Another thing you are mourning is the future that you thought that, wow, we were gonna have 20 kids and a big mansion and all these things, and we're gonna have the really cool G-Wagon and then a bus attached to it and then a caravan and then a minibus and a camping trip and all these things. Plans that you have made for the future. You are mourning that. You are also mourning the past. I cannot tell you enough how hard it is to mourn the past when you haven't even accepted it's happening. Like, accepting that something has happened is the first step to even the grief behind it. Accepting that someone has died is the first step to know that, yes, now I'm going to go through stages of grief. And in order for you to accept the past, you have to be honest with yourself about what happened. You cannot allow your brain block out sides of that, because the brain sometimes does that. Sometimes the brain gives us what we want to see. So if it's a nostalgia, you're like, oh, but life was really great with this person and we had so many good times, and then your brain blocks out all the bad times that were like really bad. Like, when I say really bad, I mean like you stay long enough and you might potentially lose your sanity and possibly your life even at some point, but your brain blocks that out. Now, it could go one of 2 ways. Your brain could block out the good stuff and make you remember all the bad things, because the brain actually registers the bad things a lot more. But either way, the past, you have to be honest about what your position was, what their position was, what the dynamic was and everything, because you're mourning that past as well. Now, These are the ones I think are key to notice, that are things that people mourn, but you don't really consider the depth of them. One, you are mourning the promises that they have sold you, the dreams, everything, the promises that you have sold yourselves together. Yes, because you once promised him that you're going to buy him a car on his 40th birthday, and you have planned that 40th birthday in your head, but it didn't come to pass. But there is a promise that was there, and that promise is still something that you have to mourn, because it's not going to happen. Yes. And the last but not least, the biggest thing that you have to mourn the most is the old you. The old you is going to have you mourning the longest, because you are going to have to sit with the old you, the you that did things out of naivety, the you that did things because they just felt like the world would be good to them because they were good to the world, the you that felt like it was okay to let your guard down. You are going to have to navigate around that. And that's really hard. That's so hard, because even talking about it is quite hard for me, because I remember saying to myself all the time how I was fine, but I was not fine. Have not been fine for a very long time. And this was because there is this little girl inside that had this view of the world that, like, if I just throw out good, I have an expectation that God will come back. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be good, because yes, good will come back, but there's a level of naivety that I've lost. And I guess that childlike side of me that felt like I have to, or not I have to, but it makes sense to share. Like, I felt like, oh wow, if I put this out there for this person, they will be able to give me love back equally in that way. And most times we process things like that as women. So when we meet a guy, he starts showering us with love and affection, and we start to shower him back. And then maybe when he stops giving you that side of love and stuff, you then begin to give more, because you're like, if I show him how I need to be loved, then he's gonna love me more. I hate to break it to you, but if he's not gonna love you right now as you are with everything that you are not doing, he's not gonna love you if you do more. Okay? If anything, you are sending a message that you are desperate and you need him. And in his head, he's gonna translate that to, she needs me more than I need her. Yes. And that is the part that's painful, because most times when you actually be honest with yourself, you think about how the fact that you almost turned down this guy, or even potentially turned down this guy several times, and now they are the one dogging you out. Painful. But that's not the gist today. Talk about that another day. Lastly, don't be afraid to talk about it. Okay? Every single auntie and their grandfather and their ancestor that I know always talks about how you should not be spilling your tea, how you shouldn't be telling people, because your village people somewhere don't need to be knowing about what's going on with you. They will ridicule you. So do you think I came to this planet to live for my village people? The village people that are not there with you in your marriage, when you were shedding tears like a donkey in your house. Where were the village people? Where were these elusive family members that are so pressed about how crazy you look on the internet? Because that's what I was always thinking, like the people that really care about me looking crazy on the internet, where are they, please? Because where are they? Where are they when I am going through what I'm going through right now? Because they ain't here. They ain't reached out. They watch the videos. They watch your posts. They probably even laugh with their children and say, yes, she has finally fallen. So why am I now going to stop my, I guess, journey, or stop what God has called me to do, which is possibly most times educate someone else? We go through things because we are supposed to be the light that someone else needs to know that they are going to overcome too. But how would they know if you don't talk about it? If you bury it inside your heart, then someone cannot believe that they will never get out the experience, or they will never do better for themselves, because they've never seen nobody else do it. They've never seen, maybe they need your story. Maybe your story is more authentic. Maybe your story is more relatable. But you are too busy worrying about what people will say. And I want to tell you, people will talk, whether you like it or not. Those people that you are trying to shield feelings from, or hearing this, and they are going to talk, they will talk about you like a dog regardless. It's about you living your life, sis, because you have a bigger purpose. Now, this then leads me to exactly what this whole gist is about. If you are new here, I've said it earlier, my name is Bami. And the reason why I'm here is because I went through something that made me realize that a lot of us are living our lives with the intention of just being a mother, a wife, and a career woman, and that's it. That's the baseline, okay? And we are spending our entire lives, our end of our 20s and 30s, forcing ourselves into spaces that don't fit us best, trying our hardest to be with men who might not even suit the future or purpose we should be attaining for. So, I will now ask you this. What is your purpose? Like, what really and truly is your purpose? Because I need you to sit with that. Because, God forbid, you die today and you go to heaven. God ain't gonna ask you, yo, sis, how's that man? Did you nurture him? Did you this? Because I sent you to this earth to do all of that, and that was what I sent you to do. Your life is more important for many reasons. Your destiny is tied to so many other destinies. Your purpose is tied to so many other people's destinies. You are the person that someone needs to walk through to get to their purpose. And if you are sleeping on yourself because you are so pressed about a space that you weren't supposed to be in, or a space that God orchestrated for you to be in so you can learn and then move on, you are delaying the nation of women or men who need what you have to offer. So, the part of healing that concerned me the most and took me to this place I'm currently in is the part where I realized that there is a bigger purpose for me in this life than just being someone's wife or being someone's girlfriend, because they are amazing things. And this doesn't mean that I've stopped dating and I've stopped, looking for love and all these things. It just means that it is not my entire desperate priority, because when I was 27 I didn't know any better. I just wanted to be someone's wife. And when I was 28 I didn't care what the outcome was. I wanted to be someone's mother. And when I was 29, by hook or by crook, I was going to keep the marriage and the child and everything together, whether it looked like what it was meant to look like or not. I was going to keep up appearances because I didn't want the world to shame me. But by the time I got to 30, I finally accepted that I started the process of what it meant to be separated and divorced. And it was the most shameful thing, because I had not sat with myself to truly understand that I chose myself out of this mess, because the future me that wants all these nice things isn't going to be built up in this space. And not because the person's a bad person, not because that space was not necessarily conducive, because it could be conducive for another woman. It just wasn't the space for me. And several times that number, the space kept showing me, you aren't supposed to be here. It would show you in more ways than none, and I was ignorant of it, and I'm acknowledging it. But most importantly, I am now here to share with any other woman, whether old or young, that it is not too late to discover your purpose, because your power is in your story. And the shame behind whatever you're thinking is shame is just a lesson that you've learned that will help the next person navigate around their story in order for them to get through this ghetto ass world that we live in. So I've blabbered on for way too long, but I'm so grateful that you stayed through the end to this whole story, and I pray that God begins to touch someone, anyone in this season, whether you're going through heartbreak, whether you're just confused, whether you're just sad, whether you feel lonely, whether you feel depressed. I know that the only thing that's keeping me going through all the heartbreaks, through all the sad times, through all the confusion, through all the disappointments, is that I know that there is a bigger purpose for me out there than what I can truly see right now in the physical. But in order to bring it to fruition, I have to go through the process in order to get the purpose. And the process is a lot of pain. And that pain then, I guess, generates and brings out your purpose. So I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video, and God bless.